As long as I've been in this health and wellness space, it took me this long to realize that there is a major connection between how you breathe and your prayer life. So the other day I was listening to Myron Golden and he said something that really caught me. I wrote it down, so I'm not going to memorize it. It says, or he said, the act of intentionally breathing is physically similar to the spiritual act of praying. And I'm like, okay, I've been a movement coach for a while. I've been a licensed massage therapist for a while. I stretch people very often, so this is making sense to me, but I have to figure out how it connected. And my God, it connects. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. Again, I do have notes. I'm not going to memorize all of this stuff. But what I understand, hold on, let me get back to my notes. I should have this pulled up. What I know to be true in my profession is that the quality of a person's breath often tells me the truth about the condition of a person. So a lot of people come in to see me. I can talk to them just regularly, ask them about their day, and I understand by their breathing how their day went. I'm not saying that you need to start doing that. That's just something that I pay attention to because that's my area. So I can tell how people are moving throughout their day, whether or not they're stressed or anxious or actually relaxed by the conversations that we're having. So I know for sure that your breathing can tell a lot about you. But how does that connect to prayer? Well, we're going to talk about that. So I'm going to kind of parallel the active breathing and the what I feel like is the process of prayer. So the act of breathing, when you breathe in, you are inhaling. So when I coach people, sorry, my chair is doing something. When I coach people through a breathing exercise, I say that on your inhale, you are receiving grace. So the inhale is receiving. Genesis 2:7 tells us that God breathed the breath of life into man, and man became a living soul or a speaking spirit. So breathing or inhaling is the act of receiving. So every breath that we inhale, every time we take a breath in, that is almost a reminder to us of what happened back in that space where God formed man from the dust of the earth and breathed his breath into him. So receiving or inhaling is about new life. It's about life just in general. So if you think about it, physically speaking, your body responds to you receiving that. Okay, your diaphragm pulls down, your lungs increase, the chest cavity increases in capacity to receive. So in this space, you're not trying to impress God. You're just sitting there and receiving what He's already provided for you. That's what an inhale is. Then you move into the resting part. Now, this is where a lot of people miss it. A lot of people don't actually rest in an inhale. They just kind of breathe in and breathe out. So when I mean rest, I mean hold it for a second. So you inhale, pause and hold it for a second. So I recommend people do at least 4 seconds. That's just my recommendation. I walk you through box breathing. I can do that in a different video if you like. But in essence, you take your inhale and you hold it for about 4 seconds. Why is this important? This is a pause. Okay, so when you pray, you are receiving from the Lord. Okay, so when you receive from the Lord, you have to pause. You have to have your Selah moment. Okay, pause and think on these things. You have to have that moment where you are allowing that to diffuse into your thoughts. So when you actually take an inhale, the oxygen is diffusing in your body, it's spreading out and assimilating into your organs, your blood, and all that stuff. So the same with prayer. When you receive from the Lord, you have to have time for that to assimilate into who you are. It has to be an exchange, just like there's an exchange in your body. Okay. So as you sit in that pause, you have that moment, you're receiving from the Lord. You are, what's the word I want to say? You are considering what He said. You are pondering, you're meditating on what was given to you. You're seeing how it fits and how you maybe have not been walking in that. That's the pause in prayer. And then you have your exhale. This is important. And this is where a lot of people get messed up, professionally speaking. Okay. So I have a lot of people on my table or on my mat very often. I have somebody tomorrow, in fact. So when they get on the table, especially when they have not had a stretch before, they tense up. Okay, they don't know what to expect. And so, what they end up doing is trying to control the situation. So, they'll hold their breath too long and they won't exhale fully. Again, when I coach people through breathing, on the inhale, you receive grace. On the exhale, you exhale fully. Okay, you got to let it all out. And so, the same is true in prayer. Okay, when you exhale, and this is a crazy prayer. When you exhale in prayer, this is part of your declaration. You cannot say a word on the inhale. It's really hard to say a word when you're holding your breath. So anytime you breathe out, you are literally speaking a word. Like, pay attention to that right now. Say something and understand that you are exhaling every time you say that. So every time you exhale, it's a declaration. So again, let's go back. With the inhale, you receive from the Lord. With the hold, you process that. And with the exhale, now you're declaring what you've agreed with the Lord in. This is so profound. Okay. So when I understood this took my prayer life to a different level because I understand breathing from a physical standpoint. Again, I've been in this industry for like almost 11 years now. So when I made that connection with prayer, it changed everything because a lot of people, when they go to God, they don't actually sit. Okay. They go to God in prayer. They're rushing through prayer. They're spilling out everything they want from the Lord and they're not waiting for him to respond. That's that holding space. So your body is responding when you inhale, your oxygen is diffusing into your system. And then you exhale and you declare what the Lord has said. You exhale and you release. That's a release. So in both of those situations, in breathing and in prayer, first thing you do is you receive. You receive oxygen, you receive from the Lord. Second thing, you rest. Okay. You hold that breath for like 4 seconds and you rest in the presence of the Lord. Then the third thing is you release. You release that carbon dioxide and you release your words in faith. And again, you should really speak what the Lord has told you to speak and not what you feel like speaking, because when you walk in agreement with the Lord, it's likely that what you desire will come to pass and not the thing that you don't want to come to pass. I hope that makes sense. Your words literally ride on your exhale. Like I said that earlier, your body conforms to what you are releasing. Really consider that. Okay. Because when you speak, your mouth has to change its shape. Your tongue has to be a certain way. Your soft palate has to yield to what you are saying. So, speak wisely, speak mindfully. Nah, I won't say carefully. I can say carefully, but y'all know what I mean. The Bible tells us that life and death is in the power of the tongue. So I encourage you to speak according to what the Spirit of God has already formed in you by the Word of God, not by your feelings. Trust me, when you do this, you will feel and see the difference in your life. So, what part of this breath prayer revelation has God been dealing with you about? Has it been the receiving, the rest, or the release? Let's talk about it in the comments. If you want more content like this, just follow for more. That's the easiest thing that you can do. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just sharing the revelations that God has given me to help my clients be better and move with less pain and in more purpose in their family, in their workplaces, in every environment that they walk in. So again, the easiest thing that you can do for me in support of this channel is to subscribe. Comment below so we can keep the conversation going. Share with somebody you think might need this, and I'll see you on the next video.